Disney now has complete control over the cinematic rights of the Hulk. So what does this piece of news mean for the future of the character in the MCU? And will the Hulk get to smash again? Welcome back to Comic Power. I'm your host, Comic Killer 72. Welcome to another episode of The Quick Flip. This is the program where I go over comic book industry news in a short period of time. Please subscribe to this channel and also click on the notification bell as well. It will remind you when new videos come out. Alright, now let's get right into it. Marvel is owned by Disney, of course, which bought the company back in 2009. What Marvel does and does not have the rights to is a very complicated matter. In the 1990s, due to some very stupid moves financially, the company was facing bankruptcy, so they sold out the movie rights to their most popular characters. Disney recently bought out Fox, which means that the Fantastic Four and the X-Men are back with Marvel, but Sony still owns the rights to the Spider-Man universe. And that brings us to the Hulk. Even though his creative control was owned by Marvel, the distribution rights for movies was owned by Universal. So up to now, if Marvel had made a movie about the Hulk, it would be distributed by Universal, which means they would get all the ticket money at the gate. Marvel had to do a Hulk movie leading up to the Avengers to establish the character, but it would not have made any financial sense to keep making Hulk movies when a competing company like Universal was getting all the money for it. So they decided just to make the Hulk a supporting character within the Avengers franchise instead of his own solo movies. But now that Disney owns the distribution rights, all bets are off. So the question is, when will there be a Hulk Part 2 and what will they do with him? They've already done Planet Hulk. The plot of that was used during the Thor Ragnarok movie, where the Hulk becomes a gladiator on a far-off planet. They've also done Professor Hulk. That's what you saw in Endgame, where he maintains the strength of the Hulk, but the intelligence of Bruce Banner. Going forward, they could do the World Breaker Hulk, which is one of the strongest versions of the Hulk ever. Or they could do the Red Hulk storyline, where Thunderbolt Ross becomes a Hulk. Marvel also has a hit in the comics called Immortal Hulk, which takes him back to his horror roots. And don't forget, a She-Hulk project is in the works. This character's name is Jennifer Walters, and she is a lawyer and a cousin of Bruce Banner. When she's targeted for assassination, Bruce gives her a blood transfusion to keep her from bleeding out, and of course that turns her into a She-Hulk. The character made her first appearance in She-Hulk #1 back in 1980. The most popular version of this character is probably when John Byrne took it over when he was drawing and writing it. He took the ferocity out of it and made it a comedy that breaks the fourth wall and has a lot of iconic covers. And since we had some comedic elements from the Hulk at Endgame, it would be easy to transition into this. So tell me, what do you think? Should Marvel go back to the darkness with the Hulk franchise and give us World Breaker or Red Hulk or the Immortal Hulk, or should they just continue with the comedic element that they've already established? Sound off in the comment section below. Next up is Wicked Wednesday and the new comic book pick of the week. For January 15th, 2020, that pick is going to be IronMan 2020 #1 from Marvel Comics. This is part 1 of a 6-part miniseries which is going to follow Arno Stark, who is the brother of Tony Stark. He has a very complicated backstory. The first version of the character was introduced in Machine Man 2020 #2 back in 1984. That version was a real jerk and he was the cousin of Tony Stark. But the current 616 version of Arno Stark is the previously unknown brother of Tony Stark, introduced in Iron Man Volume 5 #12 from 2013. In this miniseries, he has to fight against a robot rebellion. Robots have achieved consciousness and they want some rights, damn it. I am definitely down for this and I'll take 2 scoops. The runner-up is going to be Red Mother #2 from Boom Studios. This is a supernatural horror series from Jeremy Hahn, who's also known for beauty over at Image Comics. Issue #1 came out in December when nobody was paying attention, and that issue is also being re-released in its 3rd print, also coming out this week. So it looks like it's found an audience. So if you're a horror fan, you might want to add this to your pull list. Congratulations to Joaquin Phoenix for winning Best Actor in a Drama at the 2020 Golden Globe Awards for his work in The Joker. The Golden Globe is not an Oscar, but that list just came out and he's nominated for one of those too. And what we are witnessing is a sea change where comic book movies are being more accepted in the acting categories for awards. Comic book films have routinely won awards such as special effects and sound. And yes, Heath Ledger did win an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor in 2009 for his depiction of the Joker, but let's face it, as good as it was, Hollywood gave him the award because due to his untimely death, the establishment would never gotten another opportunity to award him since that was his last completed film. So if you take away this aberration, then no other actor has been awarded for a comic book film. In the top acting categories and Best Director, Best Picture were also shutouts until Black Panther was nominated for Best Picture at the 2019 Oscars. And although it did not win the award, it made history as the first comic book movie to be nominated for it. At the time I make this video, the 2020 Oscar list has been shown and the Joker is nominated for 11 awards. And despite a big grassroots push, Robert Downey Jr. was not nominated for his role as Tony Stark in Endgame. He's long overdue for an Oscar win, and the Academy should be embarrassed by this. He was nominated for playing Charlie Chaplin in 1993, but he didn't win. And he was nominated for Best Supporting Actor in Tropic Thunder and also didn't win. He's probably the best living actor who has not won a Best Actor award, in my opinion. In the description below, I will put a list of the major categories of the Oscar nominations for 2020. The Academy has a lot of makeups to make up for, such as The Winter Soldier not winning Best Picture, or James Gunn not winning Best Director for Guardians of the Galaxy Part 1. You know the drill. Be sure to subscribe to this channel, give it a thumbs up, and share these videos on social media so other people learn about the channel. And don't forget, I do sell comics at my eBay page listed here with a link in the description. One Stop Thrift and Comic Power are run by the same guy. That would be me, Comic Killer 72. I have 100% feedback, by the way. And once again, thank you to my subscribers and viewers who support Comic Power. Until next time, this is Comic Killer 72 for Comic Power saying bye-bye.